prince lives here. We got 10,000 lakes. But wait, the women are beautiful. To me they are. And we're not infested with pretentious movie stars. And it hit me, Minnesota is dope. If only simply for not what we have, but what we...
Welcome to 10 Minutes. I'm Tony Scott. Joining the studio today, Peter Odney.
Hey, Tony.
Coming off your first broadcasting gig last night.
I did. I had a lot of fun. Thank you for allowing me to do that. I'm sorry to everyone if I sounded a little bit like a lifelong smoker, but battling a little bit of a cold.
What was the call? Jack is back, attack.
The Mac
quack.
attack is Jack back. And if anyone knows what movie that line is from, it's from The Mighty Ducks. And I believe it's from the second Mighty Ducks where it says the quack attack is back. So quack,
and that
quack,
was in
Mac
reference
is back.
to whose goal last night in this Cathedral Alex game?
Mac Motzko.
Was that the dangle or was that the tic-tac-toe?
I believe it was the dangle. I think the dangle elicits more of a goal call than the tic-tac-toe.
Right. Nice job in your first game.
Thank you.
You're definitely will be hired for another one coming soon. Probably in Rochester.
That's on film.
We have 9 games in Rochester for the Founders Cup.
I love Rochester. It's my favorite.
You'll be there. Okay. All right, let's get started. A new promise for the show from here on out. We're only going to deliver fresh content on the show. So whatever you're going to get here, you couldn't have got anywhere else on our website or our Twitter feed. Maybe a retweet, but not our Twitter. We'll not generate content. Everything you're going to get here is going to be fresh. So here we go. Fresh content. Ready? Go.
Fresh.
Squirts. All right. We're not going to talk about the Jefferson Minnetonka game that I went to because we've already written about that. We're going to talk about how difficult this year is ranking Squirt A's. Usually it's pretty easy. You identify some of the elite players with the younger birthdays like Danny Nelson last year. Aussie Maple Grove is going to be good. You know, it's pretty easy. You identify them.
Usually it squirts if you find two, even one or two kids, you can usually tell which trajectory the team is going to go.
Brody Zemer, Sam Sheets. You knew that would be a good team. They have a good goalie. They had Caleb Heil. They were going to be good last year. Right. This year, it's really hard to put my thumb on a team or teams. So if the rankings look wrong, my apologies, but it's really hard to rank at this juncture of the season. I'll give you an example. Chaskatchan beat Tonka and Edina. That's a good team, but they lost to Lakeville South, which doesn't mean Lakeville South is bad, but Lakeville South has lost to Park Cottage Grove, and they lost to Edina. So there's really no rhyme or reason here at Squirts. But what we do know, it's good hockey, and I saw some great skaters the other night. I've seen about 5 Squirt games so far this year, hoping to see 5 or 6 more before the Squirtacular kicks off.
No one is safe at the Squirt level.
No one is safe this year. Okay. All right. Moving on to Peewees.
Peewee.
What happened, Peter, this weekend that didn't happen at the Lumberjack Cup in Peewee AA, which is big news?
Well, Hermantown rebounded.
And you saw them get smoked
after
by
a
Edina.
crushing defeat at the hands of the Hornets. Hermantown rebounds with wins over Minnetonka and Edina.
My word on the street is Hermantown was leading that game 4-0. So Edina actually clawed back to make that 4-3. So I think they came down with a little bit of vengeance. The Hawks did.
Yeah, that's fair.
Suffering a tough
after losing 9-3.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's talk a little bit about some of our observations from the Lumberjack Cup that we didn't write about or we didn't really talk about, but I think are worth noting as we head into writing our all-tournament team and our video or launching our video. So talk a little bit about, do you have an observation of a player that you saw in the tournament?
There was a player in the Peewee AA Championship not named Ty Tecido.
Yes,
and
or Sawyer or Simon Seidel, exactly.
But there were a couple of guys from Stillwater who generally don't get the type of attention that they probably deserve. Matthew Volkman,
2 goals,
and Daniel Roski.
He was amazing the entire game. He kind of took control of the game in the greasy areas, and then of course he got rewarded with the empty netter.
Absolutely. So while the forwards for Stillwater provide the speed, Roski provides a nice steadying presence. He's he seems pretty mellow on the ice, and he seems really consistent.
Flipping the switch over to the A's, kid named Luke Giuliani just really jumped out. And he's his younger brother of Josh Giuliani, nice player for the Leaf Birds. They have a whole slew of great players. He was the kid who just kept winning battles. Anytime the puck went in the corner, Giuliani, number 8, would come out with it. he just seemed to make plays. I don't know what his point totals were. He wasn't the MVP like
Probably
Joe
a
Louis.
lot.
But at the end of the day, he was just a key contributor, spark plug for the Leaf Birds, and just want to give him a quick shout out as well. All right, moving on. Bantams.
We're trekking.
What happened big in Bantams while we were not on watch?
We've got a little bit of an upset in Faribault.
I think so.
Eden Prairie defeats Shattuck St. Mary's
That's a
during
big
the
win
Shattuck Showcase.
Big win for the Eagles.
Absolutely. To be able to travel like that and play well on enemy ice, where it truly is enemy ice, it's not like you're going to someone else's, town's community center. You're going to Shattuck's campus, where they spend their entire lives.
Referees, their dorms, their everything. It's an intimidating place to play.
So to come out with a win,
congrats to all those boys on that team. And there's 4 of them, I believe. Let's say Batch, Blake, and Middlestat. 3 of them. Were on the Great Plains team that had them beat. And then let it slip away in the last minute, on a last-minute tip-in by Peter Reynolds. So
you don't sound bitter at all.
No bitter. Not at all. Nope.
At the Bantam B level, Minnetonka, our darlings from the Gobbler, lost to Edina White twice in 5 days.
Yeah, once in the cities and once up in Duluth, and I think it was like a third-place game. So I think that on alert, Minnetonka is beatable. We didn't think that at the end of the Gobbler.
But they have proven
they are beatable.
They're beatable.
All right, let's talk a little girls' youth. Big news at Edina. They're 12 Bs.
All right.
Black, green, and white all win.
Just 3?
There's only 3. Win titles in one weekend. That's pretty impressive. Let's go out on the road and play some games, and they all went out and won. So hats off to the Edina green 12 Bs for winning. Edina 12 Bs, all 3 winning titles last year.
They better add on to the trophy wing at Braemar.
Yes, they should. Yes, they should. All right, sticking with girls, let's highlight a girls' high school team that kind of stands out to you, whether you've seen them in person or they're on paper or whatever. What jumps out to you for a team that isn't Edina or Blake? That's kind of our goal in this segment. Not to talk about Edina and Blake. And no offense to Edina and Blake. We're going to broadcast their game in January. We think they're awesome. We want to talk about a little something different on the show other than the 2 top teams in the state.
I believe the last team we discussed was Egan. And this week, Thief River Falls in Class A. 9-0-1. The Prowlers, certainly on the prowl, had to do it.
Yeah.
Led by Shelby Bryland and Jamie Nelson. Both girls have over 20 points this season.
That's a good call. That's a good call.
Solid,
I like the team. And then they've been toiling back and forth with World back and forth. We'll get to that in a second. But that little rivalry there. They play this week. That's going to be in our pick'em. So stay tuned till later in the show to hear who we got picked in that one.
Yep.
All right. Let's move on to boys. I got a few different teams we want to highlight that are doing well. We're going to just go really fast, talk about a couple of their players. Let's talk about them. What are the 3 teams we want to highlight today that are standing out in high school boys?
Number 1, Duluth Marshall.
Tied Hermantown last night. George Granis, 18 goals. Not 18 points, 18 goals
28
already.
Points.
That's amazing.
Currently leads the state in both goals and points.
And we saw him in the Elite League. This doesn't surprise you at all, does it?
No, the kid's got tree trunks for legs. You're not going to knock him off the puck. He's got a great shot. He's got great vision.
He's the real deal.
There's no surprise he's leading.
Who's next?
Next, the Greenway Raiders.
They're doing very well. They
could
give Hermantown a game this year.
Well, with all of the attention that people are paying to Hermantown's slow start.
Yeah, it's not a slow start.
You think that Greenway was the New York Rangers, but a very, very good team. Dante Lawson, who's got
Casa Dante Lawson. Casa Dante. Come home, Casa Dante.
He's got 13 goals and 18 points. He's currently 5th in the state in points, and I believe in the top 3 in goals.
All right. Last one, Chaska Hawks.
A little bit of a known commodity from Chaska.
When you have 4 D1 commits, it's not like people you can hide.
Yeah, but Mike Kester might be the crown jewel of those 4 Division I commits. This kid,
we saw him play U16s this year for the Blades, and he was just spectacular. spectacular. I talked to the Honey Baked coach from the U16 team, who's arguably the best team in the country. He goes, if we had 27 on our team, we would be the best team in the country.
Yeah, and forget about the fact that he's 5'10". He's not a redwood. He's not 6'5", 200 pounds. You can't catch him on the ice.
He's got a little bit of Scotty Pronovich, I think.
A little bit, yeah.
That's
a nice comparison. I like that.
Really can take care of the puck, can be offensive, but can also defend as well. All right, so good call on those 3 teams. That's fresh. Not hearing a lot about those teams. And we got a little Metro, we got a little Iron Range, we got a little bit of Duluth, we got a little public, a little private.
Duluth, the Metro of the Northland.
It kind of is. All right, now let's move on to our middle segments, the question of the week, tweet of the week, and the shocker of the week. All right, let's start off with our question. This week's question is favorite sub sandwich.
You're going to have to go
Sticking with the food
first.
theme here. Okay, I'm going to go number 13 at Jersey Mike's, the original Italian. I mean, there's every kind of Italian meat. I can't even pronounce half of them.
Capicola.
Well, that's the only one I can pronounce.
Ham.
Prosciutto or whatever.
Prosciutto.
It's prosciutini, though. It's not prosciutto.
I don't know.
It's really good.
I'll watch
a little
the
Italian dressing.
I'll
Italian
watch The Sopranos
seasonings.
and I'll figure out how to pronounce it.
It's really good. Okay, that's mine, number 13. What's yours?
Mine's a little bit of a process. So
Okay.
you start with a sweet onion chicken teriyaki from Subway.
Oh, just say the word Subway and I'm ready to barf.
White bread, pepper jack cheese, toasted, obviously, lettuce, spinach, jalapenos, red onions, sweet onion sauce. Let it cool a little bit so that it turns into this this weird congealed tube.
It's 10 minutes with Tony Scott, not 20.
And nom 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 nom.
All right, that was good. All right, next up, tweet of the week. Lots of good candidates this week. I got 2 runner-ups, and then we'll announce our winner. The runner-up, there was a Stillwater Peewee A game. Someone took a picture of the 2 refs, and they had long hair. And he goes, anytime we got 2 mullets reffing a game, strange things can happen. That was a good tweet. I really like that one. And the other one was my buddy at Orno. His Twitter handle is Orno Bender.
Okay.
His daughter, I think it's his daughter, took a picture of him and called him a creepy guy. Who's the creepy guy behind the goal or something like that? They outed him. Basically, it was good. But the winner, not even close. Hands down. My good buddy Joe Owens, after a Sibley win over Tartan, does the reverse worm breakdance.
Give him an 8 out of 10 on that.
I thought it was a 10.
I'm an 8.
I thought it was a 10. I don't know if I could do that.
I definitely can't, but I can judge it from here.
Okay,
and I'm
sure, you're good at that kind of thing. All right, so we're done with our tweets. Let's move on to our shockers. We have more than one shocker.
We have 2 shockers this week.
You have your own, and I have my own.
I do.
And I like this. My definition of a shocker is you're on the phone or you're on Twitter or somebody and someone tells you a score and you're like, what? Huh? No, come on.
I will say, though, the longer you watch hockey in Minnesota, the less you are shocked.
Exactly. So my shocker goes out to the northwest suburbs, and this is Armstrong Cooper and Maple Grove skating to a 1-1 tie. What does that tell you?
It tells me that Paul McCartney might have a little stock invested in the Wings.
Nice.
It also tells me that Osseo Maple Grove might have some work to do on the offensive end.
It's not Osseo, it's Maple Grove. You're back in the youth world. It's high school.
Maple Grove might have a little bit of work to do on the offensive end, not just because they tied a scrappy team like Armstrong Cooper, but that team should probably score more than 1 goal.
And taking a step further, they struggled to get shots on goal in the Holiday Classic. They've been struggling offensively.
It's one thing to score 1 goal and still have 45 shots and have the opposing goalie have a great game, but if you're scoring 1 goal and you're not putting more than 20 on net,
look in the mirror time.
Tweak.
Right? All right. What's your shocker?
My shocker is the game that I actually announced last night. I'm not as shocked as some people might be that St. Cloud Cathedral came out with the win, but 7-1. I mean, I know Ben Doherty's injured, and that's a big factor. That game totally changes if Doherty plays, but 7-1. And yes, there were some penalties near the end and things kind of broke down, but I did not expect that large of a score.
One thing of note, though, when you look at there's the 4 top teams. There's going to be Cathedral is obviously going to be the number 1 seed. Sartell could be the number 2 seed. Little Falls is in that category.
Right. Alexandria head coach Ian Resch before the game said Section 6A is wide open. He said to keep an eye on Sartell and Fergus Falls.
Fergus, right. So there's 4 or 5 teams. This could put Alex into that 4 or 5 slot in the sections, and if let's assume they win their 4 or 5 games, guess who they'll meet in the semifinals and not the section final?
Possibly Cathedral.
I'm not sure Cathedral wants to play them in the semis. You think?
I wouldn't want to play them with a full healthy roster. I wouldn't want to play them at any
Which
point.
that game last night kind of tips the scales. Sartell's probably going, yeah, right. Told you Alex isn't any good, and then all of a sudden they. It's not good. Careful what you wish for.
The shocker was the score, not necessarily the outcome.
I know. All right, so shockers are done. Now we're working on our pictures, our predictions. Sorry, you dropped the puck there and threw me off here. All right, last week you went 2-2 and I went 2-2. So I'm 4-5-1, and you're 2-7-1.
Not good at this.
You didn't get. Neither one of us picked the Lumberjack Cup.
Nope.
Neither one of you picked Woodbury, and I picked Maple Grove.
Woodbury, who lost?
Both narrowly. Both our picks lost narrowly.
Yes.
Yours lost in the shootout, and I lost 5-4. Okay, my team lost 5-4. You got you picked Austin Maple Grove to win the A, and I picked Stillwater. And in reality, those are the only 2 dynamic teams in the A category. So we had that part nailed down. Maple Grove was the better team on that day. And then you got the girls' game correct.
I did.
And I got the boys' game correct at the high school level. So we kind of split that. We split this week 2-2 each. All right. What do we got this week? We're gonna go to our Dangle Fest. 12A. Okay. I'm going first. I'm going to go off the card.
Okay.
And I'm going to take the Distad machine at Apple Valley Burnsville.
Okay.
Who are you going to take? She's so good.
I got to look at Apple Valley Burnsville during the All-American Girls Classic.
Yeah.
Do not sleep on the co-op program between the Eagles.
They're
and the
good.
Blaze.
They're good.
I'm going to go completely on the card, and I'm going to take Andover.
Oh, yeah. There you go. That's a good pick. I saw those guys up north, up in Andover at the Super Rink earlier this season. They look dominant.
Loaded. They're loaded.
Top to bottom. Top to bottom. Speaking of loaded, over on the 10A side, I can't wait to feast my eyes on this 10A team from Andover. They're undefeated. They're beating everybody at Edina 15A pace right now.
You could get a preview of the Andover varsity.
Yes, you could.
4 years.
And these 2 games here, and these 2 teams here, they're really, really dynamic and deep. So I'm going Andover. You get your pick of the remaining 5 teams.
I'm taking Edina Green.
Just because you're such an Edina Bobo, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're going to bet on a horse, bet on a horse that wears green.
And wins a lot.
Yeah, that too.
Wins a lot. All right. Boys high school pick'em. This is a really good game, by the way.
I like that. I might go to this game.
And this is really good game. I mean, this is the Edina Classic is this weekend. And where would you rather be Saturday night? At the Edina Classic or watching Cretin and Wayzata?
I would rather watch Cretin and Wayzata.
I think so too. These 2 teams are really even, and there's a lot on the line from a section seating perspective. Mm-hmm. I think these 2 teams will end up playing each other. Just one's going to it's a matter of who wears the light color and who wears the dark color.
Right.
Because I think that Blake is still a step or 2 behind, so is St. Louis Park. So I think it's a toss-up between these 2 teams. It's a good preview for what we might see late February.
Can't argue with any of that.
I'm going to go east side. I've been criticized for hating Cretin-Durham Hall for the last 2 years. I'm going with Cretin.
You're taking the Raiders?
I'm taking the Raiders.
I'm taking the Trojans. That team is built to slow down other teams that want to rush the puck like Cretin does.
Okay.
They are built to slow the game down. They're built to ice the puck. They're built to bottle up the neutral zone. And those are 3 traits that can certainly hinder Cretin.
All right. And they got goaltending. I think
Analysis.
I like that. I'm going Cretin. You're going Wayzata. All right. Moving on. We talked about it earlier in the show. Thief River and Warroad. Tell a little bit about why they don't like each other.
I covered the girls' state tournament last year, and Thief River did not make it. Warroad made it. They're section rivals, so one goes, one stays home. But
Kind of
little
like Breck and Blake the last 43 years.
yeah, that's a nice comparison.
But northern style, right? A little bit more northern.
Little rougher. But there was a little Twitter battle that broke out between players.
On your Twitter
from
feed,
both
that's the
teams.
best kind.
There was a comment off one of my tweets that spurred a whole nother conversation, which was quite entertaining.
All right.
But two
like
teams that might not be so fond of each other.
I like it. I'm going Thief River.
All right, I'm taking Warroad. Actually, these teams are ranked 1 and 2. Warroad 1, Thief River 2 in the state coaches poll.
I like it. All right, let's move on to the Boom Roasted and Game Pucks. While I'm roasting, maybe you could jump off the chair subtly and pick up the puck you dropped, and I'll begin the Boom Roasted. All right,
Nothing
so
I do is
someday when I'm old, and I'm already old, sorry. Someday when I'm older and have some free time, I plan on writing a book. It's going to be about, the title might be Boom Roasted if I can get through copyright on that, but something along the lines of the dastardly deeds of hockey players, hockey parents, the stuff that we see every day in the rink. We had one for the book on Friday, and that's all I'm going to say. My Boom Roasted is over. We saw one for the book, and that's all. I can't give any details other than what I saw on Friday will make the book.
Oh, we had another one that might be for the book.
At the rink, same rink.
The next day.
Yeah.
But my Boom Roasted is the, I jumped off the chair and that wasn't very subtle. This complaint wasn't very subtle. Someone had an issue with when we played the semifinals.
7 a.m. games. That's
I don't
happen.
totally know what you want me to do there,
Can't
sir.
do anything.
Everybody wants to play 4 or 5 games. The model is no longer 1 game Friday, 1 game Saturday, 1 game Sunday. Everybody wants to play more games. So we have to find a way to accommodate that.
Can't miss school. If you have to miss school and you have to play semifinals on Saturday, sometimes on Sunday.
We want
a cool play event.
And we
Just
also don't want people leaving the rink at 9 p.m. on Sunday when they have school in the morning.
Nope. People want to get out.
Boom.
All right. Let's move on to happier topics.
Yeah.
I have my game puck. Actually, it might be more like a game book. Anyway, I got this from my friend Todd Smith, who wrote the book Hockey Strong. Stories of sacrifices from inside the NHL. I've only read the first chapter. I highly recommend it just after reading one chapter about my good friend, Sean Podine.
Oh.
I learned some things about Sean in here.
Sean is
Other than how hard it is to spell his name.
Sean is fun to watch a game with. Very insightful during games. I caught a little bit of a show game with him.
You can always find Sean. He's in the corner at every game. Or he's on the bench, one or the other.
He's dissecting every stage of the game.
He is fully immersed in the game of hockey, and Todd really nailed it pretty well in that chapter. Yeah. Who's your game puck?
My game puck is going to go to Greg Tinty, senior executive producer Greg Tinty, who came with me to Alexandria last night, kept me calm when my nerves were rolling around. So my game puck goes to Greg Tinty.
Big shout out to Greg. Does all the audio and video stuff for us. Has been a huge asset to the growth of YHH. Game puck to you too, Greg. For Peter Odney, I'm Tony Scott. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys around the rink.
And if you ain't gonna leave, cause this is where you're from, say